I'm Robert Estern here at livingpiano.com. Christina asks, how do you prepare for a concert? Do you play the music the same day? This is an excellent question, and there are two parts to the answer. One is the physical preparation, the other one is the emotional, and we're going to address both of these in this excellent question. Of course, the most important part in preparing is the weeks and months in advance, like I've been doing for a concert I have on the 16th of this month here at artdistrictconcerts.com. Well, if you're really prepared, you can have the confidence. So what do you do on the day of a concert? That's a great question. You know, different people have different ideas. For example, my wife is a flutist, and she loves to drink iced tea, except on the day of concerts, she avoids all caffeine. Now, for me, I'll drink my coffee just like normal and feel fine with it. You have to find what works for you. But there are some universals that I want to talk about. Aside from the preparation, and I want to stress how important it is to know your music, to play it mentally beforehand, days beforehand, to play through things without pedals, slowly, checking the score and be comfortable. The other thing that's absolutely essential is to have tryout performances. Yes, you must practice performing. No pianist, no matter how accomplished they are, can possibly go into a performance and the very first time play their best. You have to get the sense of the pacing of the concert, the energy level, the flow from piece to piece. The only way to get that is to try a performance. First, you might do it for a family member or a good friend or a small gathering in your home, just to get the feel. You'll also know what to practice, by what things are weak. It may surprise you. You may think that you need to practice certain things, and after you do the try it, you go, oh my goodness, I didn't realize I really have to brush up on something else. But getting to the day of the performance, if the first time you think about that performance, really think about the sitting down in front of the audience, is that moment, it could be a little bit hair-raising. So what I recommend is, well before the performance, once again, mental preparation of actually imagining being there. I've heard sometimes people who are a little bit afraid of performing, so they don't even want to think about it at all. In fact, they prefer to go to the concert and have the lights off so they don't see the audience and just pretend they're playing in their practice room, because they were so comfortable practicing, they figure if they can just do a repeat of their practice routine, everything will be great. Well, there's great fallacy in this thinking. You see, a performance is kind of like a conversation. You might have certain things you want to say to someone, and maybe you review in your mind over and over again. But when you have the actual conversation, there's a two-way communication, and everything changes. Well, it's the same thing with a performance. The mood of the audience, the ambient noise, the voicing of the piano, the acoustics of the room, all of these enter into that moment and what you're going to create. So what I recommend is think about that moment. Something that I like to do is relax. Really, some people call it meditation, but really it's just relaxing, breathe slowly, while thinking. I kind of focus on the name of the piano as a mental image. If I know which piano I'm playing at the performance, I will sit and think of that name, breathe slowly and deeply, and imagine that moment in my mind. I'll do that again and again over days, so that when the real moment comes and I come out, and sometimes with a large audience, yes, adrenaline can flow, the heart can beat faster. These are normal reactions. But because I've practiced relaxing, thinking of that moment, I sit down on the bench before I play my first note. I look at that name of the piano. It triggers that relaxation response. I take a slow, deep breath, and then I am in the zone. Try it. It's a great technique. Another thing you can do well in advance, and I'm going to get to the day of, don't worry, Christina. Another thing you can do, which is very important, which goes up right to the day of the performance, is thinking all your tempos of every piece you're going to play, because locking in the tempo exactly from the first note of every piece is essential. Because the worst thing in the world you want to have happen, you go out there, you have a little bit of extra adrenaline, and your heart's going a little faster, and maybe you take a speed just a couple of notches faster than you've ever played a piece before, and you get in the middle and realize you can't play it at that speed. What to do? Have a train wreck possibly, or slow it down? There is no good answer. Once you've taken a wrong tempo, too fast or too slow, you're stuck. You should think of the tempo of every single movement and every tempo change and be very fluid so you can instantly think of every tempo well before. And that's one of the things you want to do the day of the performance. Think about starting each piece, each movement, each section so you have the right idea of tempo, sonority, balance, and all of that. Now, do you play the music the day of? I definitely think it's a good idea to check things out, particularly when you're playing concerts on a piano you haven't played before. You want to try out certain pieces on that piano. Many times you can get in days before to try out the piano. Other times it's not possible, and the first time you're sitting down might be that day. If you have an opportunity to at least try out the music, this is helpful. You might, if you have time and you're well rested, even run the program or run certain pieces. Or, better yet, go through slowly with the score with no pedal, just to finally reinforce. The slow playing is very gratifying, just reinforcing the memory. These are all great techniques for you. So to recap, really the preparation for the performance comes weeks in advance, knowing your score, going through slowly and trying every possible permutation of performance. Practice your performance for friends and relatives. And so when you get to the day of, go out there, get into a relaxed state, knowing your tempos of every single movement and tempo change and balance. And above all, plan on enjoying yourself. Because if you don't enjoy that moment, your audience won't either. It's sharing the joy and the love of the music and your unique emotional response, which the audience will feel as well. So, that's it for today. Thank you, Christina, for the wonderful question and all the great questions that keep coming in. You will see them in our newsletters as well as here on the videos. See you next time. Thanks for joining me, Robert Estrin, here at livingpiano.com.